So turning the conversation a little bit to technology, we recently worked with Starbucks on a large IoT deployment, 9,000 plus stores, really focused on kind of food safety, compliance. Venkat, kind of what was the impetus for that and really the need that you saw for IoT in your stores?
So going back to what I said earlier, we want our baristas to just focus on customizing your beverages and connecting with the customer, connecting with you, knowing your name, knowing what beverage you like, and making it to your liking, right? But if you go into a retail store, there are so many other things they have to do other than facing the customer. So how do you enable it, right? So one of the nagging things is that if you're in the food service industry, an average store has about 12 places where you store food. And if you're a food service, you have to maintain all below 40 degrees because of food safety. So that means my partner in the store has to go and temp about 15 refrigerators in a day, twice a day. How long does that take? It takes roughly about 25 minutes a day, right? Is 25 minutes significant? We have 34,000 stores. It is a significant amount of time, right? So now you go back and say, I've seen presentations out of presentations on, yeah, it's easy, right? You put a sensor and you can sense temperature of these refrigerators and you can read it. But guess what? Everything looks feasible and great in a trade show and on PowerPoint, okay? But when you get into reality, think about it. We have been in business for 50 years. If you go into a store, average life of a refrigerator is about 5 years. Okay, it is a metal box. Okay, so what do you do with a metal box? How do you take the temperature of a metal box inside? So that is when we started search. We took about 2 years to figure out, okay, how do you get a signal out of a metal box? How do you put a sensor in? And how do you make the sensor stay? So we narrowed on LoRaWAN because the frequency was low enough so that I could get it out, right? I could get the signal out of the box. I could put it inside the box. And then I'm holding the sensor in my hand. You see this, you see a chain hanging from it. We had to think of everything, right? You put the sensor in. So if you rip apart the sensor, initially we had a tape behind. Can you just stick it to the refrigerator door? No, in your home, you stick things to the wall. As the temperature changes, it falls off. Okay, we have delivery people who come in the middle of the night and who put food in. You spend millions of dollars deploying the sensor, and then one delivery, they knock off the sensor, and then you're done, right? And then you have to roll a truck. And a truck roll costs us $300. So that is where we started, and our partnership was, okay, how do you do this? Because it's easy to say to do it, but how do you do it? And we wanted to do it within a year. We have about 9,500 company-owned stores in the US. How do you go in and do it? And how do you make it feasible? And how do you do it within a year? So that is the story of our partnership with Comcast. It seems very simple, but by the time you deploy it in 9,000 stores in 50 states, it's an enormous effort. And get back the data and make it useful, put it in an app and make it useful so that the store manager can look at it. They don't have to read temperature. So that is the story of our effort with Comcast.